Alright, so we're making just, he's going to start off standard wizard. We're going to do a typical RPG team setup build. We're going with Fane does need to get persuasion here. And Pet Pal. That'll switch around in Act 2, but for right now, that's what we got. Okay, and also, I don't really need peace of mind. No, I don't know how I ended up dying on the boat. That blew my mind. That's literally never happened to me before. Anyway, yeah, so we're making our classic RPG team. We're going to have an archer. We're going to have a roguish scoundrel person. We're going to have a knight fighter person right in your face, and we're going to have a mage. Fane will be the mage. Now, normally, people on Divinity Original Sin 2 who know what they're doing, including myself, would be like, hey, you don't want to build a party with 3 physical damage dealers and 1 magic damage dealer. You also don't want to do 3 magic damage dealers and 1 physical. Like, you want either all doing just physical or all dealing just magical, or you want a pretty even split 50-50. I prefer the 50-50 even split, which is actually what this is going to be more like. Now, it's not going to start off that way in Act 1, but also in Act 1 you can get away with worse builds, because there's a handful of enemies that don't have very much armor at all. There's a handful of enemies that just don't have armor, period. Yeah. Alright, and also, I'm going to be skipping through the majority of the dialogue in here. That with these guys. So I'm going to make sure I'm, out of opportunity attack range there. She is in range. So I'm going to boost myself up a little bit. Okay. And is she not she's not in combat yet, it doesn't look like. This one right here. Or no. She's not in combat. Why is she not in combat? She's the one I just smacked with a poison dart. She should be. I hate that. If I turn into an elf to get blood, yeah, that doesn't do anything. So she's just... There she goes. Okay. Oh, does she not have Opportunist? Cool. Right, so for like the 5th time now. Standard RPG setup. Fighter, rogue, archer, and a mage. Fane's going to be the mage, which is what we've got set up here. We're going to be having Losa, Sabile, and Red Prince. Oh, here we go. It is 975. Okay. We're going to have Losa be the arch... Losa probably be the scoundrel rogue person, I guess. Or her Sabile. Like, I'm split on those two. Those two are going to be the finesse ones. Red Prince is going to be our big in-your-face melee person. Debating on making him sword and shield or two-handed weapon. Not because... Just because sword and shield is more archetypically, tanky fighter thing than two-handed. And I'm just going for, like, what would a beginner who has no knowledge of the game's strategies do? And I'm trying to make a build like that, and then just using game knowledge and strategy to win with that setup. See, I think a beginner would probably go with a sword and shield if they were going to do that type of character. And we're just trying to do, like, the most standard of standard setups. We're not trying to optimize the character concepts. We'll optimize the individual builds while keeping the concept is what we're going to do. I guess at that point optimize might not be the best word. We're gonna unhinder them as much as we can with that. I'm dumb. I do need to put on some kind of face covering for Fane, though. So we'll just... yeah, we may as well give him a bucket. Why not? Actually, we've got almost every gear slot that you can have from the boat geared up. Yeah, okay. Alright, so we are going to recruit Red Prince, and you know, I am going to just go with the full-on, like, beginner mindset for recruiting people. He's just going to keep his base thing, sword and board, be a fighter. Now, I will adjust him from that point, but his starting point and his general play style will be that of a fighter, where he goes strength-based. I'm not going to do points in Constitution, though. I'm not going to make that clear right fucking now. I'm not putting points into Constitution past the 3 that he already had. He has more points in Constitution than he does Strength. That's awful. Yeah, don't do that if you're watching this. Like, you can make a sword and board character, you know, one-handed weapon and a shield. That's fine. That's okay. It's not super optimal, not super efficient. It's not the best choice, but it's fine. It's doable. What's not fine is putting fucking more points into Constitution than your damage stat. That's not fine. If you're going to put any points into Constitution, put just enough to use whatever shield you want that person using, and no more. It's a useless stat. If you get down to the point where your amount of hit points matter, that means your armor is gone, that means you're going to get knocked down or stunned or frozen or whatever, just on repeat, and you're dead already. And over here, grab Losa. Now, between Losa and Sabile, one of them is going to be an archer, which I'm going to go with Ranger for the time being. And the other one is going to be a Shadow Blade. Unfortunately, Sabile makes more sense for both of those things. I guess Sabile does make more sense for a Shadow Blade. Alright. So, we're gonna make her a ranger. Okay. And we're doing that because now we've got peace of mind. That's the main reason we're going with that. And because Fane's already got Geomancy covered, so we don't really need a Wayfarer. And he's also got Persuasion covered, so we don't need that. Alright. Now, here's the thing I don't like. Where is it? Okay. So she starts as a rogue. You don't want her to be a rogue. She's basically going to be a rogue, but you don't want to have the starting class be a rogue. You want her to be a Shadow Blade, third option down. It's basically a rogue. The main difference that I care about, because there are some more differences that are tiny, but the main difference I care about is that a rogue will start off with points in sneaking, whereas a Shadow Blade will start off with points in thievery. Thievery is better than sneaking. Sneaking helps thievery, but if you don't have high thievery, sneaking's not going to really help you with much. Like, it'll help you with very, very, very little. And even then, it's like you don't need sneaking to benefit from thievery. Anyway, get our arrangement, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, for the YouTube first video's sake, we explained the general plan. Keep a RPG-centric theme with our characters, an archer, a rogue, a tank, and a mage. Okay, we're going to stick to that. Not accidentally talk to Losa. With our mage, with Fane, he is going to branch out to all 4 of the elemental schools. He's primarily going to be Pyro Geo, but he'll get like 2 points in Arrow and Hydro, whether through gear or actual points, I'm not sure yet. But mainly just so he can use stuff like Teleport, Nether Swap, and if something's already got no health and somehow is not burning, I'll stun it or freeze it. Just like 1 or 2 of each for options. So it's not going to be very Hydro and Arrow based, but it is going to have a little bit of all. For the YouTube portion, we're going to be done there. I'm probably only going to be recording the combats for YouTube from this point forward, just kind of an intro video here, which this one will probably be heavily edited with a bunch of jumps, which you will know watching. I don't currently know, because I haven't edited it yet. But for Twitch, I'm gonna just stream the whole thing. So if you have no better options to do with your time, which would be ridiculous, you can watch me stream it. But if you just want the combat highlights, see how this team fights and doesn't die, yeah, that'll be on YouTube. So we're going to stop the YouTube recording.